Hi students, I am Dr. P.V. Sutan, Department of Zoology, SGM College, Karad. In this video, today we are going to learn about the classification of the chordata. You know that there are three distinctive characters of the chordata. Number one, presence of nerve cord. Number two, presence of notochord, and number three, presence of pharyngeal gill slits. So these are the distinctive characters of the phylum Chordata. This is about the content of this lecture. In this lecture, we are going to learn about the outline of classification of the chordates, then superclass Pisces. In the superclass Pisces, we will learn general characters and one example. Then class Amphibia. In this class also, we will discuss about the general characters and one example. Then class Reptilia. In Reptilia, we also learn about the general characters and one example. Class Eots, general characters and one example. And class Mammalia, general characters and one example. So this is about the outline of the classification of phylum Chordata. So in this chart, you can see phylum Chordata is divided into two groups. First one is the Acraniata, and second one it is called as the Craniata. So Acraniata, that means cranium is not well developed in these animals, and this group is also called as the Protochordata. Protos, that means first form, and the lower chordates, they are included in this group, that is the Craniata. Then second group is the Craniata. It is also called as the Euchordata. So Euchordata, U means true, and chordates. So in this group, true chordates they are included, and cranium is well developed. All the higher chordates they are included in the group Craniata. Then group Acraniata is divided into subphylum Hemichordata. Nowadays, this Hemichordata is included in the invertebrates. So Acraniata is divided into two subphyla. Number one, Urochordata, and second one is the Cephalochordata. Then subphylum Hemichordata, actually this Hemichordata nowadays it belongs to the invertebrates, but it is divided into two classes, Enterocnusta, then Urobranchia. Then Urochordata is divided into two classes, that is Acidaceae, Thalassae and Larvaceae, and Cephalochordata is divided into only one class, that is called as the Leptochordata. Now this group Craniata, it is divided into one phylum, that is called as the Vertebrata. So Vertebrata, that means vertebral column is present. This subphylum Vertebrata is divided into two divisions. So this is the first division, that is called as the Agnata, and the second division, it is called as the Gnathostomata. Agnata, that means jawless animals. So upper jaw or lower jaw, they are not present in the Agnata. And this division Agnata is divided into two classes. One is the Ostracodermy, and second one it is called as the Cyclostomata. Then division Gnathostomata is divided into two superclasses, superclass Pisces and superclass Tetrapoda. And superclass Pisces is divisible into three classes: class Placodermy, class Chondrichthyes, and class Ostichthyes. Then superclass Tetrapoda, that means four-legged animals. Tetra means four and poda means legs. So this superclass Tetrapoda is divided into four classes: class Amphibia, class Reptilia, class Eots, and class Mammalia. So this is about the outline of the classification of the chordata. Let us discuss the superclass Pisces. So these are some general characters of the Pisces. These animals, they are aquatic, freshwater or marine, cold-blooded vertebrates. So all these animals, they are present in the water. Some of them, they are present in the freshwater, and some of them, they are present in the seawater. They are cold-blooded. Cold-blooded, that means in these animals, the body temperature changes according to the environmental temperature. Then when you see the skin of these animals, it is covered with the scales. So scales, they are present. In some cases, bony plates or the dermal denticles, they are also present. Then when you see the body, it is usually streamlined. But in some cases, the body is elongated. Few are dorsaventrally compressed, and some are snake-like. So snake-like body is also present in the Pisces. Then paired or unpaired fins with soft or spiny rays. So two kinds of fins, they are present: paired fins and unpaired fins. And there are the fin rays. So in some organisms, paired fins are present. Sometimes unpaired fins are also present. Then when you see the endoskeleton, it may be cartilaginous or it may be the bony endoskeleton is there. Then when you see the respiration in these animals, the respiration takes place with the help of gills, but accessory respiratory organs, they are also present. So in some kinds of animals which are present in the Pisces, there are accessory respiratory organs, that means additional respiratory organs, they are present. When we see the heart, it is two-chambered. So one auricle and one ventricle, these two chambers, they are present in the heart of the Pisces. These are the unisexual animals. So male and female animals, they are the separate animals. And these are some examples of the class Pisces: Clavio, Cutla, shark, stingrays, etc. Now this is the outline of the classification or of superclass Pisces. So superclass Pisces is divided into three classes: class Placodermi, class Chondrichthyes, and class Osteichthyes. So in the class Placodermi, all these are the extinct fishes with primitive jaws. So these fishes, they are not present on the surface of the earth. They are the primitive fishes, or they are the extinct fishes with primitive jaws. Then second class is the Chondrichthyes. So these are the cartilaginous fishes, that means their endoskeleton is made up of the cartilage. And the class Osteichthyes, these are the bony fishes, that means their endoskeleton is made up of bones. Now about the class Chondrichthyes. So these are the general characters. The first character is they are found only in the marine environment. So only in the seawater, these species, they are present. They are not present in the fresh water. Then the exoskeleton is like the placoid scales. So when you see the exoskeleton, it is like the placoid scales. The endoskeleton is cartilaginous, that means it is made up of the cartilage. Gills are the respiratory organs, so respiration takes place with the help of gills. When you see the caudal fin of these animals, it is the heterosursal. So in some fishes, there are homosursal fins, caudal fins are there. Then heterosursal caudal fins are there. So heterosursal caudal fins, that means upper lobe and lower lobe of the caudal fin, they are dissimilar, but they are not similar. Then the claspers are the reproductive organs in the males of the class Chondrichthyes. Then aerobladders, they are not present in this species. And the example of the chondrichthyes is nothing but the Scolidae. Let us discuss about the information of the Scolidae. The Scolidae is the shark which is present in the marine water. It is also carnivorous and predaceous animal. Scolidae is elongated, spindle-shaped animal. So spindle-shaped body is present and the body is laterally compressed. Mouth is very wide and crescentic aperture. Crescentic aperture, that means the half-moon-shaped opening is present at the ventral side near the head of its anterior side. Then in the Scolidae, the teeth are replaced when it is broken. So at that time it is replaced by the new one. The nostrils, they are placed one at each angle of the mouth. So there is a pair of nostrils present in this animal for the purpose of respiration. Then cloaca opens to the exterior by cloacal aperture, which is located in between the two pelvic fins. So cloaca, it is the common aperture of the digestive system, reproductive system, and the excretory system, which is located in between the pelvic fins. Then in this animal, unpaired and paired fins, both unpaired and paired fins, they are present, and these fins, they are the flap-like integumentary extensions of the body. The respiratory organs, they are the gills, which are borne by the gill pouches. So there are the gill pouches, and inside the gill pouches, there are the gills. The excretory organ consists of a pair of elongated kidneys. Elongated kidneys, they are present for the respiration excretory purpose. Then sexes are separate. Male and female animals, they are the separate. These animals are the ovoviviparous. Ovoviviparous, that means the animal lay the eggs in the uterus, and entire development takes place in the uterus. And after that, the young they are the animal gives birth to the young ones, and the fertilization is internal in this polygon. So in this figure you can see the Scolidae. So you can observe the mouth, then gill slits are present. This is the dorsal fin. Then here pectoral fin is there, pelvic fin is there. So these are the paired fins. Pectoral fins and pelvic fins, they are the paired fins, and this is the unpaired fins. This is the dorsal fin. Then here second dorsal fin is there. So these are the unpaired fins, they are present. This is the caudal fin. So here you can see that this is the upper lobe, this is the lower lobe. So both are dissimilar, or not equal lobes are there. So that is the heterosocial type of fin is there. So this is about the Scolidae. Now second class, it is called as the osteichthyes. Let us discuss the general characters of the osteichthyes. So this is the first character. These fishes, they are found in marine water, then fresh water or brackish water. So some fishes, they are present in sea water, some of them they are present in the marine water, and some of them they are the brackish water. Then when you see the endoskeleton, it is made up of the bones. Then they have no claspers as a reproductive organ in case of males. Then there are the gills for the respiration, and which are covered with the operculum. The air bladders are present in most of them. So air bladders, they are the additional or the accessory respiratory organs, and in most cases these air bladders, they are present. And these are the some examples of the class osteichthyes, that is the Labeo, Cutla, etc. So this is the example of the osteichthyes, that is the thing about the Labeo. So in this figure you can see the animal, and this is the classification. So it belongs to the phylum Chordata, then superclass Pisces, class Masticides, order Cypriniformis, and family Cyprinidae. Cyprinidae. Let us discuss the characters of the labio. So this fish is commonly called as the rohu, and genus is the labio, and species is the rohita. So this fish belongs to the carp family. So there is one group of the freshwater fishes that is called as the carps, and this animal it belongs to the carp. It is present in the rivers in the South Asia. Then this is the large fish, and it is omnivorous and extensively used for the aquaculture purpose. Then when you see the respiration process in this labio, there is respiration by means of the gills, and this fish also comes frequently to the surface of the water for gulping the air into the air bladder. So with the help of air bladder also, this fish can respire. When you see the body of this animal or the fish, it is spindle shaped, and the color of the body is blackish on the dorsal side and silvery at the ventral and lateral sides. There are three divisions of the body, that is the head, then this is the trunk, and this is the tail. So these three deep body divisions they are present in this fish. When you see the mouth, it is the presenting transverse subterminal slit bounded by thick fleshy upper and lower lips are there. So upper and lower lips. This is the upper lip and this is the lower lip. So such two lips they are present in the labia. When you see the trunk, it is covered with thin dermal plate-like overlapping cycloid scales. So in this region you can observe the cycloid scales are there. So different kinds of scales they are present in the fishes. For example, cycloid, enoid, ganoid. So in some cases that is placoid scales they are also present. But in the rohu or in the labio, cycloid type of scales they are present on the body and the trunk region. Then there are paired and unpaired fins, they are also present. So here you can observe that this is the pectoral fin, then this is the pelvic fin. So these are the paired fins, and this is the dorsal fin. Then this is the anal fin, this is the caudal fin. So such a paired and unpaired fins, they are present in the labia. The caudal fin acts as a locomotory organ for the locomotion purpose. This caudal fin is used by the fish. Then the next class, it is nothing but the amphibia. So you know that the amphibians they are present on the land as well as in the water. So how this is possible for these animals? How they can survive on the land and in the water? So actually here there are two respiratory organs which are present in the amphibia. So they can respire with the help of the skin. That type of respiration it is called as the cutaneous respiration. And there are also lungs for the respiration purpose. So when these animals they are present on the land, at that time the respiration takes place with the help of lungs. And when these animals they are present in the water, at that time the respiration takes place with the help of the skin. So that's why they can survive on the land as well as in the water. When you see the body, there are two divisions of the body, head and trunk. Then the tail may or may not be present. So there are some animals in which tail is present and sometimes tail is absent also. Then skin is smooth, rough, without any scales. So scales are absent in these animals, but there are certain glands which are present in the skin, and the secretion of these glands make the skin moist. Then they have no paired fins. Paired fins they are absent in this case. Unpaired fins might be present. So in some cases, unpaired fins might be present. Then there are two pairs of the limbs for the locomotion, hind limbs, forelimbs. So these two pairs, they are present for the locomotion purpose. The respiration, just to discuss the respiration through the lungs and the skin. Gills might be present externally in some adults. So sometimes gills might be present. There are three chambers in the heart, two auricles and one ventricle. There are 10 pairs of the cranial nerves in the amphibians. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is usually external. However, there is an example that is called as a salamander. So in the salamander, the fertilization is internal and breeding generally occurs in the water. Then the copulatory organs, they are absent in the male. And these are the examples, that is frog and salamander. So this is the example of the amphibia, that is nothing but the frog. Just see the classification of this frog. It belongs to the phylum Chordata, class Amphibia, or the Anura, and the family is the Ranidae. Let us discuss some characters of the frog. The frog is any member of a diverse and largely carnivorous group of short-bodied and tailless amphibians. So here tail is absent in the frog. An adult frog has a stout body, protruding eyes, cleft tongue, limbs folded underneath, and no tail. Then they have glandular skin with secretions ranging from distasteful to toxic. So in the skin, there are different types of glands that are present, and when you see the secretion of this frog, so sometimes it may be toxic, or sometimes the taste is not present in the secretion. There are different color patterns in the frog, and the skin is very camouflaged. Because they are camouflaged, that means they can change the skin color according to the environment. So different colors we can observe, that means brown, grey, green, and vivid patterns of bright red or yellow and black to show toxicity and ward off predators. The body is divided into two parts. This is the head and this is the trunk. So these two divisions, they are present in the frog. When you see the head, it is triangular head is present, and it is somewhat flattened. The head is broadly joined with the short, somewhat flattened ovoid trunk. So this is the flattened or ovoid trunk is there, and the head is joined with this trunk. When you see the posterior side, posterior end of the trunk, in between the hind limbs is present the cloacal opening. So these are the hind limbs, and in between these two limbs there is an opening that is called as the cloacal aperture, or it is also called as the vent, through which fecal matter, urine, and reproductive bodies like sperm or ova, they are discharged. The forelimbs are meant to hold and support the front part of the body. So these are the forelimbs, and these forelimbs, they are for the purpose of holding purpose as well as to support the body. Then at the time of jumping, it gives the support to the body, and hind limbs, they are for the jumping and swimming purpose, because when you see the hind limb, there are the waves. So waved toes, they are present for the swimming purpose in the frog. So this is the next class, that is called as the reptilia. Let us discuss the characters of the reptilia. The first character is that these are the creeping and burrowing terrestrial animals with scales on the body. So entire body is covered with the scales, and these animals are creeping and the burrowing. They are the cold-blooded animals. So what is meant by the cold-blooded animal? That means the animals, the body temperature changes according to the environmental temperature. These animals found in most of the warmer regions of the world. When you see the skin, it is dry, rough, and without any glands. So glands are totally absent in the skin. The body is divided into head, neck, trunk, and tail. Four body divisions they are present. Then the respiration takes place with the help of lungs. So for respiration purpose, lungs are present. Then they have the pentadactyl limbs, each bearing the claws, and snakes are the exceptions because in the snakes no limbs they are present in the snakes. Then there are three chambers in the heart of the reptilia. However, crocodiles have four-chamber heart. So actually there are four chambers, but in the crocodiles there are three chambers, but in the crocodiles four-chamber heart is there. The nervous system have 12 pairs of cranial nerves. Except snakes, all the reptiles have well-developed ears. Well-developed ears they are present in the reptiles, but in the snakes, ears are absent. They possess a typical cloaca. Reptiles are ureotelic or uricotelic or amnotelic. So ureotelic, that means they excrete the urea as a nitrogenous waste. Some of them they are the uricotelic, that means uric acid is excreted, and amnotelic, that means ammonia is excreted as a nitrogenous waste. Then fertilization is internal. Internal fertilization takes place, and these are the some example that is snakes, turtles, lizards, and crocodiles. So let us discuss the example of the reptile, that is nothing but the cobra. This is the classification of the cobra. Phylum Chordata, class Reptilia, order Squamata, and family Elapidae. Let us discuss the general characters of the cobra. So you know that it is commonly called as the Indian Nag. In Marathi it is called as the Nag, and the genus and species is the Naja. When you see the color of this animal, it is brown or black and covered with the smooth oblique rows. So the scales they are arranged in the smooth oblique. The scales are smooth oblique rows. 15 to 25 rows they are present. Then this snake, it produces the loud hissing sound when it is excited or when it is in the position of the attack. Then you see here expansion of neck takes place, and when there is expansion of the neck, that is called as the hood. So hood is formed due to the expansion of the neck and cervical ribs. Then dorsal to the hood, you can observe this mark. This mark it is called as the bacillus mark, or generally people they call this mark as a mark of 10 or figure of the 10. Then the third supralabial scale, it touches to the eye and the nostril. Then two poisonous fangs they are present in the upper jaw. With the help of that fangs, this snake bite to the victim. Then tail is cylindrical and tapering at the posterior side. Then this snake is the oviparous, that means lays the eggs. It is carnivorous, feeds on the frogs, lizards, rats, and the young of the birds. The poison of this snake, if it is the poisonous snake, and the poison is the neurotoxic, that means it affects the nervous system of the body. When it bites, there is a severe pain, swelling, irritation, and death due to the respiratory arrest. Okay, thank you.